All right, 7.1 homework. Now for this one, I'm not going to be showing the calculator on screen as much because you see it in the notes and in class. So to save time, just to get the stuff done, I'm going to do it on a hand calculator and put it on the screen. Now this number here is very important. This -4. This is that electric fence, that border. So right away, I like to put at -4 at y equals -4, put this right here. That is the asymptote. That is where it will not cross. It's the electric fence. Okay. I also like to just get this out of the way right now, just to remember that that is -4. It's also going to play an important part in the range when we get to there. Okay. So you're not going to put everything on the table. You don't need to put that many points, just the ones that are really key. So like, for example, like 312, you won't even be able to graph exactly. But 2, 4, 1, 0, 0, -2, -1, -3. Okay, so 312, just get kind of an idea where it would be. It's going to be up here somewhere, like that. 2, 4, right here. 1, 0, right there. 0, -2, -1, -3, and that's pretty much it. And then I just, don't worry about all the small decimal ones. At this point, you just kind of ride out along the fence. Okay? Now, this number here being bigger than 1 means it's growth. Whereas over here, this is going to be decay, because it's less than 1. It's not a fraction necessarily, because you can have an improper fraction, which is bigger than 1. But a fraction less than 0 is, fraction less than 1, my bad. Fraction less than 1 is decay. A number bigger than 1 is growth. Okay? So, now looking down here. The domain on all these is going to be -infinity to +infinity because they're always going left and right forever. Okay? Now the range, where's it going? It's going up in the sky towards +infinity. And it's bottoming out at this number right here, the -4. Now we're going to use a parentheses, not a bracket, because it never hits -4. That's very important. The y-intercept we get right off the table, 0, -2. And then we look at the transformations. That's here and here. The -4 drops it down 4. The +1, remember, inside lies, you would think right, but it moves it left 1. Now, the only thing I will show you real quickly is on the calculator, as a reminder, I suggest, and you don't have to do this, but I suggest that you, well, here's an example of a different one. This one, my bad. Put in 2 to the x, the parent function. Then put in the transformed one. So when you hit graph, you can see the top one is the parent one, that it is dropped down and is moved slightly left. Okay? All right, on to number 2. Okay, like we said, this is decay because it's less than 1. All right? And not a lot of things to put on here. We have 0, 12, 1, 6, and 2, 4. And then we start having all of our decimals. Now remember, +3 is the asymptote. So I'm going to just draw that in right now. You can use a colored pencil, a pen, even just a regular pencil. It can be dotted or a solid line, whatever you want to do. Okay? Right now I'm going to write in this y equals 3 right away. Always remember it's y equals, not x equals. So in previous unit, we did x equals for vertical axis of symmetry. This is a horizontal line, y equals 3. Okay? 0, 12, up here somewhere. 1, 6, right there. 2, 4, right there. And that's pretty much all you got. Okay? And then it just rides out along this line. Okay? That's all you can do. So domain doesn't change, negative to +infinity, left and right forever. The range, again, it's going up towards +infinity, which we put on the right, and the 3 here, again, from right there. The y-intercept, right off our table, is 0, 12, and our transformations, inside lies, so right 2 and up 3. Right 2, up 3. On to number 3. Now notice this time, besides having a number, no number out in front, we do have a number and it's negative. So that's actually two transformations right there, right? And notice though, we don't have a constant here. We could write plus 0 because there is no constant, and then our asymptote is going to be the x-axis. Y equals 0. All right, and 0 is going to be part of our range. And since it's negative right here, we know it's going towards negative infinity without even drawing it. We know that. And it's going to not hit 0, so we use a parentheses. This is not going to change, so we can do that right away also if you want. Doesn't really matter. And now we go to our calculator and get some good information. So this one, we actually get a few points. -4, -8, -3, -4, -2, -2, -1, -1, and we do need that 0, so it's -0.5. All right, so -4, -8, right down there, -3, -4, -2, -2, -1, -1, and 0, -1/2 right there, hard to see, and then it just rides that line, never hitting 0. So what's my y-intercept? 0, -0.5, right off the table. What are my transformations? Well, the negative flips it. Now, we usually use words like wider or narrower when that number's out in front, but without having like a parabola or absolute value, the narrower and wider is a little hard to explain here. So we go back to the longer version of it, and we say stretched vertically. If that number is bigger than 1, stretched vertically. On to number 4. Oh, sorry, on the last one I forgot to say, being that this is 1/2, this is decay. I'll get this out of the way now. 4 as your base is growth. I don't remember if I did that number. Yeah, I did. Okay. Keep myself honest. All right, so right at the bat, there's my asymptote. So at 6, I'm going to put a horizontal line, best I can. And I'm going to put y equals 6 right here. Now, I don't have a lot to put on the table. Okay, so 5, -10, 4, 2, 3, 5. That's really it. So 5, -10 down here. 4, 2 up here. And 3, 5. Okay. And then we're just going to come up and then ride out along this line. Again, the domain has not changed. It's negative, positive, infinity. The range, it's going down towards negative infinity, which we always put on the left. This number goes right here, and we put a 6 right there. So the y-intercept, oh, forgot to put that on here. The y-intercept is 0, 5.9. Now, when you look at your calculator, we don't round because it's actually 5.98, but we can't round it to 6 because it never hits 6. So this is where you technically don't follow the rules because of asymptotes. Now, transformations, it's, again, inside lies. So x minus 3 means right 3. The plus 6 means up 6. The negative means flip. Now, remember also, that 4 does not mean stretch vertically. That 4 is the base, okay? Just like this 1/2 was the base. The number outside stretches it or compresses it vertically. Very common mistake. Please don't make that. On to number 5. Okay, with this one, again, -3 right here. That is my asymptote. At -3, right here, that's my borderline, that's my fence, never gonna cross it. Y equals -3 is my asymptote. That's gonna go up here with the range, right? We know it's a positive, so it's gonna go up to positive infinity. We can actually write this right now, even without seeing it. We should be able to understand that. Now, remember, 1/4 is our base. That means it's decay. Now, you can put this in as 1/4 as a fraction or 0.25 if they're e. Now, like 1/3 we had, you don't want to put in as 0.3 because you can't really put it in repeating. But if it's a clean decimal like 0.25, 0.5, you can use that instead. It's up to you. It doesn't really make any difference. All right, so on the table, really don't have a lot of points here. -5, -13, just so you can see where it's going. -4, -1. I'm sorry, -4, +1. -3, that's +13, my bad. That wouldn't make sense, would it, with a positive slope? And that's it, really. So -5, 13 is going to be up here somewhere. And I just want to give that as a guidance because we really don't have a lot of points. -4, 1, and -3, -2 right here. So this just kind of gives us an idea of where to go with it. And then again, we're just going to ride it out just like that. All right. That's all we can do. So no difference here. Negative, positive, infinity doesn't change. My y-intercept, we'll put that on there. Again, this is one of those ones where it's 0, -2.98. We don't round it, so we're just going to put 2.9 like that. And then my transformations, x plus 3 means left 3. And the -3 means down 3. On to number 6. All right, here we have -1, +4, 0, 3. There's our y-intercept. 1, 1, 2, -3, and just for scope where it's going, 3, -11, even though it's off the chart. +5 is my asymptote. So y equals 5. I'm going to draw that line in right here. All right. And then I just start putting my points on there. So -1, +4, 0, 3, 1, 1, 2, -3, and 3, -11 down here. So again, it's going to go this way. And once you get to the fence, it's going to ride it out. Domain does not change. My range is going towards -infinity, always on the left. That's a horrible infinity, one of my worst. And where is the asymptote? 5. The y-intercept is 0, 3. My transformations are a flip, left 1, and up 5. Moving on. Identify as growth or decay, then describe the transformations. So again, we look here, what's attached to the exponent. We don't worry about this right now. We'll come back to that. But the base is 2/5. That is less than 1. That's decay. Now my transformations, I'm going to need to be able to see that again. Transformations, up 3. Inside lies, left 4. The negative flips it. And the 2 stretch vertically. If that was 1/2, it'd be compressed vertically. My domain is always -infinity to +infinity. It is negative, so -infinity, and this 3 gives us the number there. And again, we don't need the graph. We can put this in the graph, and I suggest you put everything in the graph at all times, but you can get that information without. All right, the base, again, is 5. That's growth. This number stretches it vertically. X -7, inside lies, right 7, down 1, and the 3, again, stretches it vertically. Since it is positive, it's going towards positive infinity. That asymptote's at -1. And the range, oh, my bad. I don't know what I was just thinking. This is my range. The domain does not change. Hopefully some of you were screaming at me. There you go. And last but not least, this one has a base of 3, growth. The transformations, down 6. Inside lies, left 1. 1/2 means it compresses vertically. And since it's positive, it's going towards positive infinity. I almost did it again. I don't know what's going on with me. This never changes. And it's going towards positive infinity. And my, oops, this is -6 right here. And that's it.